was like fully, I think I was going through, I was like going through a breakup right after high school, and I was like, I'm gonna get fucking jacked, dude. I was literally
That's it, bro. The iron never leaves you.
Yeah.
The iron never leaves you.
Yeah, and then I was like in that from 18 to like 26. All I was interested in was being jacked and big. And like I literally remember thinking, I want to be so big that people look at me when I walk in the room and like they're like, "What the fuck?" Like I literally wanted that. And now I'm the opposite. I'm like, dude, I want to be so like I want to be a sleeper build. Yeah, I want to be a sleeper build. Now I just want to be like a fucking ninja. I want to be very unassuming, just like chill. Like, I don't want the attention anymore.
Yeah. I guess that's what I was going to ask. Where does that stem from? The want to just be a freak show like that?
I think a lot of it was, like I said, I went through a breakup and I was really feeling depressed and sad and fucking shitty, and it's emasculating. I like it was like, someone that I loved was like, it was, so I was just like, I want to get fucking jacked. And
then
I think that
snowballs.
Yeah, and well, I think what I was trying to say is, it came from a point like it was part of my personality. Like I wanted to party, I wanted to sleep around, I wanted to be jacked, I wanted to be desirable because I didn't feel those things. Like I didn't feel like I was those things. And so I just, I would talk about the people I was hooking up with my buddies, and I was just like a guy's guy. Who's, my buddies never hurt me. They just make me feel good. Fuck yeah. Like that's literally, so, and then, I was just like, why the fuck am I doing this? I was just thinking about it today, about how like, it's so much better, even just like training and doing a bit of grappling for a few years. Like the amount of confidence I got from doing that for like 3-4 years, it trumps like 10 years of lifting weights and just getting jacked. Like looking in the mirror and seeing like a shredded abs and like veins down your arms is fucking dope, dude. It is fucking dope, especially when you grow up with fat kid genetics. But like being able to tap someone out, especially like people that have trained for a couple years like you're like, oh, this is like if someone never trained, it just gives you a confidence like of like learning those skills and seeing what you can do. Like it trumps the weightlifting just to get jacked in terms of confidence levels. Like
for sure,
it's unbelievable. I wish I had found this in high school, dude.
Yeah. What are your I kind of have like a beef with people jiu-jitsu practitioners who call themselves fighters, though.
Yeah.
You have that?
No, I don't care.
I can't stand that, dude.
I don't get hung up on words. I understand where you come from.
Yeah.
But I just don't care. But I also like jiu-jitsu, so
I mean, me too. I fucking love that shit as well.
Yeah. I get it. There's no striking, so it's hard to call it a fight.
Yeah.
But that's not what the martial art's designed for.
Yeah.
So it's just, once you understand that, it's okay.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
There's just a couple people from a bunch of different gyms or gym owners that I know who call themselves fighters, though, and I just don't.
Yeah. Well.
In a way that I feel is a bit cocky.
What about like someone that did like karate or taekwondo? Would you feel okay calling them fighters if they're getting kicked in the face? Is it just like you think that a fight is only striking? Or?
No, like I feel like you're like a fighter when you have the full skill set, at least to a mildly proficient degree. So it's like taekwondo is a dope martial art. Jiu-jitsu is a dope martial art that's extremely effective within the umbrella term of fighting.
Because that's the question, is if you're not okay with it being called fighting in jiu-jitsu, would you...
It's a combat sport.
Yeah, but would you with like... If two guys are competing in taekwondo and they're kicking each other in the face, is that a fight? Is it just the fact that there's no striking? Is that...
No, actually, that's a good point. I'm glad you're poking holes in my argument.
The other thing
I think actually intuitively, yes, I would call that a fight, but I guess that's fucking hypocritical as shit.
Because that's only half of it.
Yeah, straight up, actually. You're fucking right.
My next thing I was going to ask was, what about lacrosse fights or hockey fights? Because I never seen a choke or an armbar or any.
Yeah,
I
fuck.
guess.
You're right, bro. You're right. You're right. You're right. It's just a different kind of fighting within a very specific rule set.
Yeah.
That's
I
fair, man.
dude,
That's 100% fair.
I get what you mean though when you compare it to MMA, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's just a different fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. You're right. That's correct.
Also, I just don't really care about little words like that. I'm like, whatever. We all know what we're talking about when it's
true.
like,
Yeah.
when you know, like an MMA fight versus like a jiu-jitsu match or fight or whatever you want to call it. Like, you know what you're expecting.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I went and saw. Have you ever watched mixed martial arts live?
Yes.
Dude, I went and saw BFL recently.
The most recent one?
Yes.
When Radley fucking sent someone into another sick.
Yes. Yes,
best.
dude.
The best.
Yeah, dude. Every fucking fight was so sick.
Yeah.
I've never seen MMA in person, to be honest.
Oh, dude.
Never in my life.
Yeah, what are your first impressions?
Holy shit, dude. It was fucking electric.
Yes.
Man. It was so insane.
Wonderful.
Especially, dude, there was so many local guys. Like Jamie Siraj fucking dominated in his fight. And yeah, Radley fucking dominated that guy. Dude, it was such a good fight. There was so many good fights, dude. There was these two fucking other dudes that I don't know what they fucking I think one of them trains out of Richmond, but it was like two Middle Eastern fucking last names. I didn't recognize them at all.
Ali? Did Ali fight?
I didn't recognize them at all. I don't know, but they fucking put on a hell of a show, dude. Holy shit, man. I think they had the biggest audience support as well.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe Radley, because the place went nuts for him.
Yeah.
But it was also like, dude, when you back heel kick a guy into another fucking year like that, like
Radley's so sick, bro. Like, I remember meeting him for the first time. I must have been 16 and he must have been 15, or maybe I was 17 and he was 16. And he came into the gym that we're training at, Dynamic MMA back then. And he came with all his boys from Axe Capoeira.
I don't know anything about capoeira or
Okay.
like that community. In
Well,
Vancouver.
anyways, he comes into the gym and we're all warming up for sparring. And this guy, I just remember watching from the corner as I was just taping my shit up. He's warming up by walking on his hands and doing like gainers and backflips and like triple backflip type shit. And I'm like, who the fuck?
Yeah,
Like, this guy is...
Is this real?
Yeah, is this fucking... Am I in
yeah.
a video game right now?
Yeah. You're like, I
Guy-
think I see this character in Street Fighter 3 on my Super Nintendo.
Fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah, he's a freak, dude. Yeah. Dude, yeah. Having that be my first time watching mixed martial arts in person. Like, I've watched so many fights on TV, and I thought I was a fan of mixed martial arts. And when I saw it in person, I'm like, this is
Yeah.
this is insanity.
Yeah. Were you close enough to really hear the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was nuts.
It's so crazy, bro, that people do this
Dude,
shit.
I was in row 5, right behind the corner of the octagon where he had kicked him. So I literally watched the guy just drop and that hammer fist come through.
Yeah.
And I was with one of my buddies, and literally we were like, holy fuck.
Was he flatlined for a long time? Like, did you
Oh,
see
yeah.
him for like a couple minutes?
Couple minutes. I have the video of so I was trying to record. I knew Radley was gonna fucking knock him out, and he was just looking so sharp, and I was like trying to get a sick video, and then the second I saw it, I froze. I couldn't record. I was just literally in the moment so much, like, holy fuck! Everyone started erupting, and then I started filming after to just like the crowd reaction. And then you can see the guy's just like laying there, like done. And he looked pretty good that night, honestly. And when they announced his record, the guy that Radley was fighting, I was like, yo, this is going to be tight. And he looked really good right up until like that moment. And it was just like lights out. Like,
Yeah, dude, Radley's so talented, bro.
holy shit, dude.
He's so talented.
It was just like, yeah. I guess it's just like obviously muscle memory, but like I couldn't imagine. There's certain times in jiu-jitsu, just like even just jiu-jitsu, when I'm passing and I feel so weird putting my back to an opponent. I couldn't imagine. Obviously, I've gone to like 3 fucking kickboxing classes in my life, so my striking isn't anything to talk about. But I couldn't imagine that whole, just like in a full-on fight, you're going to just like spin backwards. That's
Well, it's the same. Well, yeah, it's what you said, right? It's the same that when you're grappling and you see like a little bit of the inside crook of someone's elbow, you're like, oh, fucking arm drag.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same thing with the spinning back kick. You just see that 1 millisecond opening, and you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm tucking it.
Yeah, it definitely. People like that. There is like, there's something different about them. There's like, I like. There's nothing I could ever do. I feel like to get like that. There's just people that
It's
are.
what we talked about last time, right? It's
Yeah.
just that physical intelligence, aka athleticism. It's not a physical thing. It's
I'm not discounting how hard people work. I'm just saying like there is something about like people that are built different.
yeah.
I'm
for
not
sure.
saying they can't be beaten, but like there's people like he I feel like is an example of someone that's literally built to fuck people up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
And there are, and you're 100% right. Like I feel like from you, like you played rugby, like you're probably really fucking physically durable as well. But there are certain guys that, especially in MMA, rise to a really, really good level. In large part because of how different they are. For example, like Tristan Connolly, that guy is so the shit that I've seen that guy go through, and even like sparring. He's one of those guys that you could hit with a baseball bat.
You pull that right in. Sorry.
You could literally fucking deck him over the head with a baseball bat, and it would probably take, like genetically, it would probably take him like a month to recover from that concussion. Whereas for the average person, like you're done for life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just it's always interesting, the conversation of like, because people always like to talk about hard work as everything. Hard work, hard work, hard work. Of course, hard work is an extremely large component, but also some people are built different.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, and I trust like I definitely align a lot with like the guy that works harder will beat raw talent, obviously.
Without a doubt.
And I think that people discount themselves a lot more than they should. I think that a lot of the time they're like, "Oh, I could never do that." Like the same thing I just said, like, "Oh, I could never get to that level." And I that's why I guess I just feel like I should say like I think that you can outwork things like that, but there is something to just be admired. The same way that you would look at somebody, I guess this is a better way to say it. The same way that you'd look at somebody that like doesn't have the skill and or doesn't have the innate skill and has worked hard to develop it. The same way you'd look at that and admire like, wow, they worked so hard. You also have to do the other side of it, where you have to look at other people where you're like, holy fuck, that person is literally built different.
Yeah, man.
Like both have to be appreciated.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Like you see something like that and you're like, dude, that is a masterpiece
Yeah,
performance.
for sure, dude. On BFL, fuck, I was really bummed, man. Like one of my buddies got knocked the fuck out.
That night?
Yeah, you see Bernie,
Which one was that? What did you?
jacked Chinese guy, fighting out of Lions.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. That was a sick fight too.
Yeah,
Every single
It was-
fight was so good, dude. There was no disappointment.
nice.
I was sad. I was really hoping Jamie Siraj would knock that guy out,
yeah,
but
definitely.
he physically dominated him.
Yeah, especially short notice, going up a weight class. That's the difference in skills, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He's a monster, dude.
He's a monster, bro.
He is like legitimately, again.
He's a gremlin.
One of the last guys I'd ever want to be locked in a room with.
He's
if
a
he-
gremlin,
If he was on, if I was on his bad side. like-
Yeah, definitely. God, I love combat sports, man.
dude, I do. I honestly do. Even just like, man, like I said, I don't feel like a tough person. I see guys like that, and I'm like, they would fucking tune me on a bad. Like literally, if he was injured, he'd tune me. Like done for, no chance. But I fucking just love jujitsu. I love watching martial arts. I love watching mixed martial arts. But I purely just love doing jujitsu, dude. Like it is literally something I think about. And maybe it's only because I've been doing it for a few years. But I'm like fully, I love it. I cannot think about other things now.
Happy for you, man.
It's so
happy
sick,
for you.
dude. I fucking love it.
What's your rotation of physical activities now? Some yoga, some lifting, some running, some jujitsu.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
That's a good-
biking.
That's a good rotation. And biking.
I lift. So yeah, mornings I lift and do a bit of cardio. like every morning, and then Monday through Thursday I'm in jiu-jitsu class. Maybe once a week I do no gi, but most of the time it's gi class.
Oh, so you're on point as fuck then. So, because that means 4 days out of the week you're doing 2-a-days, right?
I'm
If
doing
you
two,
lift and run every day, and then 4 days are
probably
also
more than
jujitsu.
that, because
Okay,
I'll
nice.
still train on like a Friday when there's no class. While sometimes have a sneaky open mat on Friday nights, or when I get home I'll just lift, or I'll do yoga. Today I did open mat in the morning. I'm gonna lift tonight.
Fucking sick,
I
dude.
just love. I have to exercise. I
Of course, of course.
I am somebody that like. Again, I think it's obviously like my body has been conditioned over the last few years to just do this. I work in construction all day, so on weekends my body's just like needing shit to do. But I
That's the
feel
thing. Actually, with your construction job, your aerobic capacity is probably so fucking high, which is like
I basically do steady state cardio for like
that's
10 hours a day.
exactly. Which is like a key factor when your capacity is that high. Your ability to recover between sessions is
Yeah. The only time that I ever slow down a lot is when I have joint pain. That's the only time I ever really slow
okay.
down.
So okay, actually, that's what I was going to ask you next, which is if you're training so much, how what are things that you feel for or look out for in your body that lets you know like, all right, today's like I can send it, or today I gotta fully take a day off, or at least do something way more chill.
Neck and back, anything neck and back or knees, I'm not going to grapple
Okay,
for the most part. If
okay,
I cannot comfortably move my neck or back, knees sometimes, like right now I have a bit of a sore knee because I was being cheeky today. But yeah, if I have like back or neck pain, like just moving it, I won't grapple. I won't, but I'll still bike. I'll
How
still
do you
do yoga.
how do you manage your training intensity or volume though? Because now you're just saying like obviously it's the smart thing to do if you got joint pain, take a day off jujitsu. But in terms of like how do you know which days your physiology is actually ready for you to like crush a workout, and which days you have to go more chill?
I only train intuitively. It's a unnatural question for me to think about, but I get what you mean.
Yeah,
But I don't have any training regimen whatsoever.
yeah.
I write down like suggestions for myself here and there, like a Monday through Sunday plan or something like that. But through years of bodybuilding and then rehabbing myself and doing things like I know enough exercises that I just think about usually, what do I really want to work on right now? Like, right, I've been obsessing over trying to stabilize my knees a bit more and trying to strengthen them. So I've been doing more like suitcase deadlifts,
Dude,
reverse
can we
lunges.
absolutely fucking go down the rabbit hole of strengthening your knees?
I've been watching your stuff, dude,
All I've
because
been thinking about is injuries and pain and
yeah,
knees for the last.
I don't get much pain training, to be honest. I have a very you've seen how I roll. Like I kind of roll really slow, and I kind of cuz I love doing it.
Yeah,
I want to train every day, so I don't want to train super fucking hard. There's days where I do, but like today at open mat, I was there for 2 hours just fucking flowing, just rolling, just chilling. Like I literally just love just chilling and grappling. Like it's so fun.
that's great.
So yeah, I don't train super hard. I'm just rolling. But if on days where if I have knee pain and shit, then I'm like, yo, this is gonna stop me from rolling. I need to focus on this. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I do a lot of body weight squats now, which is
Okay.
something I never thought I would fucking get into. As someone that like used to warm up with like
A plate.
150 pounds on a
Yeah.
squat rack,
Yeah.
I like literally only ever do goblet squats with 90 pounds. That's like the heaviest I'll go. And then, yeah, I do a lot of body weight squats, reverse lunges, um, one-handed lunges, which is really hard. One-handed deadlifts, where you like kind of pendulum your opposite leg as you're
Oh
going
yeah. Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little things. I'm just trying to work on balance and stability right now on my lower half. And then, yeah, I'll throw the bench up and do some fucking chest press and bro out in here and watch some anime. And It's so good, man.
Nice.
So good. Yeah. Yeah, and I do some. I'm definitely not afraid of taking like a good fucking little THC in my tea and fucking chilling out and doing yoga for an hour either. Like I said, I just like to move and exercise, and if I'm super sore, then it's just like walking and biking and yoga. But if I wake up and I'm feeling pretty good, I'm gonna train hard.
Nice.
That's usually the way I go about. I guess that's the best way I can answer your question from earlier.
No, it makes sense, man. I wish more people were able to do this, the intuitive approach, because I talk to colleagues and clients all the time about this. I genuinely do not think it's a good idea when people are so over reliant on like their Whoop watches or their Aura rings or any of that shit, because it's like, why are you outsourcing how you feel? Why are you letting a piece of plastic tell you how you feel? You should just be able to know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only time I used to have one of those Fitbits, the big ones that like was like a fake Apple Watch basically.
Yeah.
And I would track my runs and my biking, but I would never be able to track my jujitsu or anything like that. So it wasn't really like a great output or indicator for like my calories output, because I just wouldn't like. That's probably when I burn the most calories is in jujitsu, to be honest.
Right.
You know, lifting weights is like kind of incomparable. So it was like a huge chunk. And so like I really didn't get to measure my input versus output, and it was basically just a step counter.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about that because like calorie counting is one thing, but like with what I'm saying is like the whole
Your BPM and your fucking.
your resting heart
Am
rate.
I sleeping well? I wanted
all
to use
that
it
shit.
to track my sleep.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
What's my
Do you
sleep
wake
score?
up
What's
feeling
my
good?
HR? Yeah. Yeah,
What do you need to track?
exactly. And
Well, I want to see how many hours I'm in REM sleep. It's like, yo, did you sleep for 8 hours and do you feel okay? If you don't feel okay, you probably didn't. Did you sleep 8 hours? Yes. Do you feel okay? No. You probably didn't rest well. You watch Netflix before bed? You watch fucking, you know?
yeah.
Were you fucking eating chocolate bars and fucking chips and, oh, you drank a bottle of wine? Okay, like it's like you don't really need to watch to tell you. You think about it.
That's what I'm trying to say, man. But for some reason, like we're at this stage in our evolution as humans where like we're just becoming further and further disconnected from our bodies. And again, it's just fucking absurd to me that people are not able to trust their intuitive how I'm feeling, and they need to outsource it to a company. Whoop.
Yeah, yeah.
Aura.
It's dope. It is dope. I trust me. I was kind of into it for a while because I was wanting to improve my running. So I was like, oh, I need to see how many minutes I'm in this zone and how many minutes. I didn't even really learn it that much. Like I couldn't even make jokes about it because I don't know that much about it. Because I never really. I was like, if it was red and beeping like 120ish, 130ish, like around there, it was like I know I'm fucking killing it right now, and I would just try and maintain that when I was running. You know, just run hard.
Yeah.
But now I just think that way. I'm like, I just run hard. Like if I'm pushing myself and my lungs feel fucking pain and I'm like lightheaded, like I know I train hard. I know I'm fucking sore. Like, you know, I feel it. You know, I don't need a watch to be like, oh, you stayed in this BPM for this amount of time and, you know, do this amount for this cool down. Like I'll just walk down the block until I feel like my legs aren't jello.
That's it.
You know, like
that's it.
I am on the same page as you. But I think that it's difficult to get to an intuition level. That's why most people aren't into it. Like they aren't able to do it because they don't know what feeling good or feeling bad feels like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always like that analogy of like when you hear the refrigerator buzzing and then you hear it turn off and you're like, oh, what? I didn't even hear that before, but now it's quiet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like white noise.
Yeah.
But most people's pain is white noise. They don't know what it feels like to be like, oh, I can actually move my hips or I can actually like turn this or do that. Like you think of like reaching for something. Like most people would just be like, yeah, I reach for it. You're like, what part of your arm did you extend first? Like how like ergonomic is your movement, like or efficient, you know, like I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like most people just like they've never felt like super good,
I agree.
and so they're like they don't know when it feels bad. Like I know when my knees are feeling bad, because I know what it feels like to be able to fucking do explosive movements and feel okay doing it.
Yeah.
But like when you wake up and you're like, oh fuck, I'm sore today, like, and even just like to be able to identify pain. I guess that's another thing is like some people get like a pain in their knee and they're like, I'm hurting, my knee hurts, and you're like, what part of your knee? Like
Yeah, and
I can,
how did it
yeah,
hurt?
like I can tell you, I have meniscus pain right now. I
Okay.
know where my pain is,
Right.
and I know what it's from. I know what movements will hurt it, and I know where I can get away with it.
How long has that been going on?
Maybe like a month, but
Oh, so your knee pain is brand new.
yeah, it was from like a certain thing, and I know I was caught in like a half guard as I was trying to pass, and I was trying to change directions, but the guy had my knee, so I couldn't knee slice the opposite way, and so I just kept rotating while my knee stayed in place. And I was joking with the guy. I was like, I wonder how far I can rotate my knee and see if I can pass you. And he's joking. He's like, you should go back. Like, I was like rotating towards north south, but my knee stayed. So
Yeah.
like I was, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then I like felt it. Like I said, I was being cheeky. I was being dumb, and I felt it start to pin. And like it was like that little sharp pain, and I was like, all right, retreat. And I just scooped back. And then ever since then, I was like, I'm gonna take it easy on that knee.
Okay. Did you hear or feel a pop or anything like that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Dude, my joints all crack and pop. I'm one of those guys
Yeah,
where
that's
like
fine.
during rolls, people will be like, "Is that okay?" And I'm like, I don't even notice what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's fine.
My ankles a lot when people catch like straight ankle locks, they'll pop, but they feel fine.
Okay.
They just pop. My knees pop. My wrist, this one, just clicks away. Like always.
Oh, I hear that.
Like always. It cannot move that wrist without it clicking.
Right.
But it feels fine.
How'd the rest of your leg feel after you tweaked your knee a little bit like that?
Fine. So literally just like a pain. It feels like here, but like maybe a half inch lower too.
Okay.
Like right around like this depth, but right under here. And if I pinch it,
You got a fat
too much?
fucking
that
bones-
calcium thing.
bone spur, yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy quad training back in the day or rugby?
I don't know. Probably. C, all of the above. It's just on my right one. My left knee kinda has it, but definitely on my right one, it's huge.
Damn, dude.
I started getting it in like grade 10.
Okay.
So yeah, I started lifting at 14, which is like grade 10. So it's like only probably 2 years after that I started getting that. It's been the same ever since. It's fine. It's not tender. It's literally, it feels like bone. I don't know what it is. I never knew what it was until like a year ago.
Right.
I just thought my knee was like fucked. Like I would say, oh, my knee looks weird.
Mm. How about your neck? Like
Nothing bothers me about it.
Okay.
Sometimes like I'll get like if I move weird or something, I'll get like a kink in my neck, but I never understood the whole like, oh, I slept weird and my neck feels bad.
Same.
My back and neck always feels good.
Okay.
Unless I tweak it. Like there's little times where like again, wrestling around or grappling, you just move in a weird way and you're like, oh, my back feels a little fucky today.
Yeah, sounds like you're just smart with your training, man.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like there's times I wake up early, so I usually have an hour to move in the morning, at least a half an hour. And like this week, one of them, I didn't do my weightlifting. I just jump on the bike for 15, 20, and then I just foam rolled and stretched for another like 15, 20, and then go to work.
Nice.
But I definitely think what you said earlier, like the steady state cardio that I do all day, like often, is definitely a huge contributor to how much I recover.
Massive, dude. I just made a video about that, which is that a lot of the like most effective popular recovery modalities people do, the underlying mechanism is because our bodies are basically like fluid filled like skin sacs. it's a closed hydraulic system.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're recovering from injury, illness, training, whatever it may be,
You sound like an engineer when you say things like that. A closed hydraulic system.
well, that's what it is.
No, I know. I get what you say. You sound like one of my engineers.
Nice. So when you're recovering from injury, illness, or training, you're just trying to push fluid through the system. So you're just trying to get waste out and nutrients in, which requires fluid flow. So a lot of the underlying recovery things, like, for example, massage, you're literally pushing things through the system. Hot, cold, you're literally using your neurological reflexes to bring fluid to the center and then bring it back out, right? Like when you go hot, like everything goes out. When you go cold, everything goes in. So you're using your actual reflexes to move fluid through the system. Or things like going for a walk or going for an easy bike ride, same thing. Or things like pool work, when people do pool work, because basically the hydrostatic pressure, like the pressure of the water against your entire body, is like a full body version of like a basketball shooting sleeve or like a diabetes sock. So all these things are fluid flow.
Whoa, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
I always just
That's
thought
the underlying mechanism for all these things.
I always just thought that the benefits, like the reason why elderly people or injured people do a lot of pool work, is I always just thought it was like the weightlessness, the ease on the joints.
That's, for sure.
The fluidity of swimming, like how like it just makes you more fluid when you move.
For sure. But from a recovery perspective, a lot of it is just from the hydrostatic pressure helping push fluid along nicely. But anyways, the long story short, all of these recovery modalities ain't fucking shit compared to sleeping and having a high aerobic capacity. Because when you got a capacity like yours, where you're doing steady state all day, every day, your heart can fill up so much and squeeze out so much more with every heartbeat relative to other people that don't have that level of cardio.
I've also damaged it a lot with drugs and alcohol. So
well, you don't know that for sure.
Smoking and
you don't know that for sure.
I assume.
Nah, I don't think. How much were you smoking? Oh, like weed?
Well, both. I used to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, but if it's only for like a
For
period
like
of
probably
a few
5 years, yeah, like a pack a day, probably for like.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah, I go hard on anything I do. Especially like I was working in restaurants and shit. Like, I went hard.
Yeah.
I loved cigarettes. I'm a big nicotine junkie.
No, me too, bro. Me too.
I have to be very careful with nicotine.
Me too.
It's so addictive for me.
Yeah.
And I have no off switch. Like when I chewed tobacco, like it was like all day, like in class, like at work, while I drive. Same with smoking. Like it was like I'm not one of those people that has. I know people that are like, oh yeah, I have a cigarette or two when I drink. I'll say that shit, but then the next day I'll be buying a pack, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, dude. Yeah, nicotine is It's so like it's so effective though for, in my opinion, like cognitive work and creativity. That's the dangerous part for me personally. Is that like a lot of the time when I'm sitting down to write out like educational material for like my Instagram page, I'm popping a little 2 milligram nicotine mint, or I'll roll a hand rolled, whatever.
Dude, I'm literally growing tobacco.
Yeah, I saw it outside.
Yeah.
I saw it outside.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to smoke my own tobacco. But I agree with you. Whenever I have to edit like reels, like clips and shit like that, it's like I have a smoke, now I just have joints, but like it's like smoke a joint, make a coffee, sit down, and then as I listen to it and shit, usually I have like a game, like I'm playing Pokemon or Kirby or something, like. But nothing is like literally more relaxing. That's what I'm going to be doing after this, like tonight. It's just like chilling out and fucking editing.
Yeah.
And, like that's the rest of my Saturday. So there's nothing like it. Even, dude, I someone at work the other day, was trying nicotine gum. And they were like, yo, try this. It was like 2 milligrams or something like that. Though I can't remember what the brand is called.
It's all good. It's not as good in my opinion, the gums.
No? It was pretty solid. It brought me back to the feeling of like, oh, this is kind of like chew. And I was like, this is dangerously good.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. Because especially with gum, dude, I'll chew gum all day.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I'm an oral fixation kind of guy, and as gay as that sounds, like I am like that. Like
The joints, dude.
sunflower seeds, cigarettes, gum, joints. Like I'll chew shit like it just like straws. I'm one of those people, man. I don't know why, or I definitely think that heavily like. As much as I am a full-on denier that ADHD is a thing, that it's a permanent disease, I should say. It's a symptom of behavioral patterns, I believe. But I know that when you struggle with the symptoms of those behavioral patterns, that nicotine is definitely one of the, like, I read one time, I think it was a Gabor Mate book, In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts. It was like people with ADHD are more prone to nicotine, alcohol, and I think weed. I think the way that it's stimulants, meth and stuff like that. Because
Well, that's why pharmaceutical ADHD meds.
Because your brain processes it in like an inverse method, and that's why it helps people that have ADHD focus more. This is the way it was explained to me by a doctor. I didn't take them very long, but basically, like, that was the way he explained it to me. It's like you get the inverse effect. Like, as some people would get super anxious and super fucking energy and their heart would pound, like the way that I hear about people react with coffee. Like, that's how most people should process amphetamines. But with ADHD, for some reason, your brain processes it in a way that it chills you out or calms you down or helps you focus and relax.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but
I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot, so don't like take any of my word for it. But I just know my takeaway from that book was, as somebody that struggles with some of the symptoms of ADHD, I know that nicotine is definitely something that it's a trap. It's a fucking booby trap for me.
It really is, dude.
So I have to be very mindful of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm also somebody that, like I said, I can rationalize things really well for myself. I'm really good at selling myself bullshit, dude.
Me too.
I can buy one pack and I'll just be like rolling spliffs for myself. And then it's like, you've had 6 cigarettes and 2 joints. Like, you're not even really doing this for the weed anymore. Like, you're just smoking cigarettes. Like, yeah.
Yeah, bro. The self-gaslight is just...
It's dangerous, dude.
The self-gaslight is...
So, yeah, I have to be really careful. That's why I was like, that was one of my rationalizations. That was like, if I grow my own tobacco, which I honestly do believe, like, if you grow your own tobacco and you're smoking that is not even close to the same as buying cigarettes. Like,
yeah, it's the same. I mean, it's the same. It's on par with the negative health effects of smoking weed, because you're just combusting a flower and smoking it.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't come with all the other fucked up chemicals.
Yeah. I was joking around. One of my buddies the other day, he was like, like, nicotine, apparently, like, supposedly, I think, like, Andrew Tate and, like, Tucker Carlson have been saying that, like, apparently nicotine boosts testosterone. And I don't know the science behind it. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not. I know that it makes me feel fucking good. I know that I've definitely done it before playing sports or doing anything like that, and it helps me focus.
So you just fucking hack a dart before playing sport?
Yeah, when I was smoking darts, dude, it was all day. It was just like, I'd do it before the gym, before sports, like.
Wow.
Yeah. I did. I love smoking, so I've always been fixated on smoking, vaping. That was really dangerous for me too, was vaping.
Vapes, for sure.
I definitely like had to fucking swear off them, because that is a perfect combination for addiction, between the
ease of access,
the barrier to entry. Like, you could just go buy it fucking anywhere. The flavor is fucking, like, undeniable. Like, you can get whatever flavor you want, and it's fucking loaded with sugar. It's literally just sugar.
Is it?
Yes, dude. It's, I don't know do you know what glycerin is? Is glycerin a sugar?
No, I think glycerin is a sugar alcohol.
Okay, well,
I can't be.
Well, I'll tell you, vape juice is like literally 99% glycerin. It's glycerol, vegetable glycerol, and propylene glycerol, and whatever artificial flavors, which are just sugar. That's all vape juice is, and nicotine. And then there's like a one other thing that they put in it. I tried making vape juice for a while. That's how it was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, it worked.
How?
It
What's
worked.
the recipe? Oh, I guess
I
those.
just told you.
Yeah. Okay. Got
Yeah.
it.
So if you like, there's different like mixtures you can do if you want it more watery or more syrupy. The VG versus the PG ratios, and then like your flavoring, your nicotine levels. That's where you got to be very careful. And also mixing the nicotine, dude. I didn't know nicotine could absorb through your skin. You could absorb
Oh,
it dermally.
definitely. Yep.
So you had to. I didn't know I had to wear gloves when I was making all this
Did
shit.
you get sick?
I got fucked. I
Yeah.
didn't get sick. I got fucking
That's what I mean.
trippy, dude. It
Yeah.
was blast off, man. It's
Well,
a
that's why
different. It's a
that-
different beast. Like it's a different. You know how like eating edibles is a different beast than smoking weed.
Yeah.
When you absorb nicotine through your hands, dude.
No, that's living, brother.
Dude, that is a.
That's living. Huh?
That is a different beast. Shout out Chase. Me and Chase making vape juice together
That's
back in the day.
crazy.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But that's why, like, for example, with those commercial tobacco farms, when it's time to pick the tobacco, they're suited up. Otherwise, you're gonna get.
Oh, yeah,
so
you'll get I don't
fucking
doubt it.
ill, dude.
Yeah. Oh, but the reason I brought that up, dude. What were we just fucking saying? I was
Nicotine for creativity.
No. There was something else. The reason I brought up the. Oh yeah. So my buddy was saying about the tobacco boosting testosterone thing.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I was
sure.
talking about. And I was like, yeah, definitely. Like it makes me feel good. Like I definitely fucking. I don't know if it boosts my test, but it definitely makes me feel cool. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like a badass. I feel physically good because like the actual like inhalation of chemicals that are on fire that fucking make you feel good, like the serotonin and the dopamine and obviously the nicotine.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, he's like, but like think about how fucking good it makes you feel. And I go, yeah, for sure. I don't know if you could attribute that to being like tobacco boosting testosterone though, because I think that's probably all like the head rush and all of those things are probably just carcinogenics that are just chemicals like inside that they've just like literally manufactured to make you feel as good as possible when you smoke it. Like that's probably not just the nicotine doing that to you. It's probably
No, I think it is just the nicotine doing that to you. Because, for example, when you pop like a nicotine mint or a gum, it's the same head rush that you would get from smoking.
I feel like different from it though. There's something about it. It's also, like I said, I've always had the oral fixation of smoking.
Yeah.
There is nothing that will ever beat it for me. That, like, literally something like a joint or a cigarette. Like, hookah's great. Vaping's great. Like, any other way people like to smoke, maybe out of a pipe, whatever, is great. But there is nothing like sitting down with somebody and smoking. Like,
It's true, man. It's true.
we should have done it before this, but I was just nervous
Yeah,
because I was
fuck.
like,
Next time.
well, yeah, you were saying how you were like not feeling too awesome about it, but no, about like the edibles. So I was like nervous of like, oh, maybe I should not get them high.
Oh, word.
And also,
Next
there's
time.
been people that are like, yo, I'm too high for this now. And so I try not to fuck people up.
That might just be a little slower. Because you exclusively smoke indica, right? Pretty much.
I don't. I have another theory, dude. This is another rabbit hole we can go down.
Sure.
Okay, check this. This is my theory. I think that between all different strains and different, like, the things that people notice about, like, oh, this makes me feel this way or this makes me feel that way. I have a theory. I don't really buy into the whole, like, dichotomy of like, sativa and indica and this impacts me this way. And, oh, if I smoke this one, like, I get hungry. If I smoke this one, like it stops my hunger. If I smoke this one, it makes me energetic. If I smoke this one, I literally don't believe in that. I do not. I know it's very contrary to a lot of stoners, but I purely in my heart of hearts believe that there's just different strength levels. And like there's definitely undeniably like there's a mind high and there's a body high.
Mhm.
I know the feeling of those two things. I know that like, whoa, my hand is moving way slower than I thought, or not responding the way I wanted it to, or my pain's gone. Like that's my body high. Whereas like we all know what a mind high is like.
Mm-hmm.
But I just believe sincerely, like there's just different strengths. And so when people are like, "Oh, I was put in the couch," it's like, yeah, well, there's probably a physiological difference throughout your day of like what fats you were eating or what you ate, like how much you slept, how susceptible you were to feeling lightheaded or whatever. Some people just don't fucking eat enough or drink enough water. They don't take care of themselves. But I feel like uh yeah, between strains and stuff like that, it's just like think of it as like less of like a color wheel of like different options and more of just like a meter of like how fucked I am.
Yeah, I know that's what you're saying. I would definitely disagree, though. There's a clear difference from when I smoke indica and sativa.
That's yeah, I'm just saying my own personal experience.
Yeah.
I when people are like, "Oh, I've got this strain and it's this." I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll feel good. I know that.
But you've been blazing for so long that you've been so consistent with your regimen.
Yeah, I took like 13
That-
months off or 14 months
I
off.
remember that.
And yeah, I don't recommend it, dude. I don't think that everyone should use it. But I just know that I feel optimal when it's like a vitamin for me. That's as fucked as that sounds. I feel optimal, dude. Like if I wasn't exercising this much, if I wasn't working this much, if I wasn't like reading and doing, like you even talk to like Teddy, like the amount of times where like we've had like big emotional breakthroughs in the last year. Like I don't really, if there were like an alarm bell going off, I would, and there was before. That's why I took like a 13, 14 month break. But
What's the alarm bell?
I just felt myself disassociating emotionally a lot. Just like completely like disassociating. And I was just like, I gotta fucking realize what this is. So
That's good. That's good.
took like 14 months off, did a lot of reflection. And yeah, now I feel like it's the opposite. I actually feel like I got to a point where now at least I know like the first time I smoked a joint, it was my birthday last year last year. And I went and sat in the backyard, and after like 14 months or 13, I think it was 13 full months. I was just about to start 14. But yeah, I smoked one joint and then I came in and journaled for like 25 minutes and then just cried and went to bed. Like that was like, it wasn't a fun, chill experience. Like it was just very like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck's going on? And I'm like, oh wait, this is how I'm supposed to be using it.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I would, okay, yeah, I definitely would like to add to that because, yeah, I have the same experience recently. Maybe in the past 10 weeks, I've really tried
Tuck
to
that
use.
thing up, dude.
I've really tried to
I
use.
love that voice.
I've really tried to use cannabis as, like I told you, less habitually and more for the great tool that it actually is, which for me and for I think a lot of people is like a performance enhancing drug to get you to feel more sensation, to be able to feel more of your body, which has a lot of like knock-on benefits for chronic pain control and things like that, as well as to feel more emotion.
But it can be
I think-
easily used to do the opposite.
Yeah, exactly, and that's when it becomes habitual because you're just kind of, just fucking,
Yeah.
just I don't even know what the word is.
I know for sure there's been
Numbing.
times where like I just want to smoke a joint and listen to music and forget about my life and fuck this. Like I just want to run and feel good. I want to feel good. Like that's literally where my brain's at when I'm like that. I'm like a little fucking miscreant looking for fucking any loose dopamine receptors that are like, yo, let me plug something fucking in there. You know, like it's just like I'm feeding for it. I kind of know the feeling of like, yeah, I want to do this to enhance this fun experience that I'm having, or I want to do this because I want to meditate and then journal and think, like, dig into this, or I just want to fucking zone out, like, fucking chill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it has so many individual purposes that it's like you really do have to be mindful about it, like you were saying earlier. It's
Yeah.
easy to get lost in the sauce.
It is easy to get lost in the sauce, dude.
That's why I say I don't recommend it for everybody. I was just on the phone with somebody this morning that's like one of my buddies that's like quitting weed, which if you've got like people struggling with addiction in your life, you're like quitting weed. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But then like when it comes to brass tacks, like if you've smoked for years and you stop smoking weed, it's like your life in your head is flipped upside down. Like
For sure.
for most people.
It's also an interesting concept to think about, like, if you're baked all the time, let's say you go like 12 months straight where you fucking wake and bake and you just keep going until the moment you fall asleep.
Mhm.
When you go through like a period of sobriety from weed, that's like you being high. Because that's
It is
different
yeah.
from your normal now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sobriety is different from your normal.
Yeah. It just sometimes it's shittier. But spoken like a true stoner, eh?
I will say that I've been loving using weed for the pain side of things. I've been going down a rabbit hole of it's really interesting, man. And we could talk about this from like a super sciencey perspective or like a super practical, like layman's term perspective. But like basically when you feel chronic pain all the time, let's say in your knees, and it's just constant, 6, 7 out of 10 pain, hurts to walk, hurts to stand, hurts to do everything. Interesting things happen in your somatosensory system in your brain where the pain literally makes like the 3D map of your body more blurry and inaccurate. Like pain literally changes the way your brain perceives where your body parts are in space and in relation to one another. And so recently I've been exploring using weed as a tool to tighten up that body map of mine, which then feeds into having less chronic pain. It's really fucking interesting.
Well, how the fuck does that work? What are you talking about?
Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
okay, so when you are moving your body in the world, through space, in sports, in life, whatever.
Say my knee pain, for example.
Sure. When you're moving around, let's say when you're running. So when you're running, your brain will pull on its three-dimensional map of where your body parts are in space, almost like you can imagine like a visualization of like how your skeleton is moving through space.
Yeah. Do you ever play Metroid? Metroid
No.
Prime or anything like
No,
that? Okay,
no.
never mind.
And if that map that it uses is inaccurate or kind of smudged up, then your coordination is going to be a little bit off. And if your coordination in moving your body parts through space is a little bit off, you're going to be moving a little bit off axis with some of your joints where you're subjecting it to like a lot of shearing forces or compressive forces that don't have to be there, which then further feeds into you feeling pain because now you're using your joints in a quote unquote suboptimal way.
Improperly, yeah.
And then the pain further smudges that 3D body map that your brain uses to organize movement, which then further degrades your movement quality. And so it's like a vicious cycle. And so one of the ways out of this vicious cycle or loop is to, when you're going through chronic pain or trying to recover from it, improve your body awareness. And even more than the specific example that I'm talking about, although there are so many other ways to improve your body awareness, is to improve that 3D map that your brain has, that your somatosensory cortex has, of where your body parts are in space. And so going back to the weed thing, like just smoking half a joint or popping like a little 5 milligram edible and kind of just laying there and feeling as much sensation as possible throughout my whole body, almost as like a body scan meditation, you could kind of think of it, is extremely helpful for getting you out of, getting not just me, but anyone out of this loop of chronic pain.
Yeah. Do you
That
ever
kind of makes sense?
Yeah. What kind of yoga do you do? Do you do yin yoga or hatha yoga? Or
I don't really do yoga
do you
anymore. I used to a lot. Like I was really big into it from the time I was like 18.
But do you stretch?
Yes, you could consider it. Yeah.
Do you static stretch?
No, not really. I don't really have like a routine of stretching, but I will just kind of intuitively move my body and these hold certain body positions for a really long time. Here's an interesting concept. It kind of applies to yoga too. That when you're doing any pose in yoga, or even when you're just standing, like literally just standing,
Mm-hmm.
you can turn it into a really interesting body awareness practice or like kind of functional meditation practice by visualizing where your bones are in space and then trying to organize or stack your bones in a way that is most efficient relative to gravity.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when your bones are stacked perfectly like that against gravity, then you can hold your body up with minimal muscular effort or muscular tension, which really helps get rid of a lot of pain sometimes.
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
100%.
So like I'll focus more on that. Like how am I organizing my body in relation to gravity or in relation to the ground in a way that is most efficient so that I can move around with the least amount of unnecessary clenching and muscular tension, which then helps me move smoother, which then helps me get out of pain. So
So
it's
like
not like I don't. So again,
a mix of kind of like passive and active, like kind of what do they call it? What do they call that? The opposite of passive or static stretching, dynamic stretching.
dynamic stretching. Yeah, sure. You can consider it. Yeah,
Like
like
a
a mix,
passive dynamic stretch
a
kind of.
mix of like holding these passive positions and just feeling my body as much as possible throughout, and not just focusing on like stretching a target muscle.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, like leg swings or something is like kind of an example. It's like not. It's kind of like a passive, but dynamic kind of movement. Is that what you mean?
No, like for example, just
Or like
okay.
or
Let's
like jumping on
talk
your
about
toes?
let's talk about like a standing lunge, where it's like, for sure I'm looking for a stretch on that backside hip flexor, but even much more importantly than that, I'm just trying to feel the rest of my body as much
Mhm.
as possible. Can I feel the position of my sternum? Can I feel tingles in my fingertips, blood flowing there? Can I feel my toes? Can I feel the position of my head in relation to my pelvis? So it's like more than I'm trying to like really stretch that hip flexor open. I'm using it as a body awareness kind of meditation. So that's kind of like the static hold part of it. And then in between, I'll do a lot of dynamic stuff, just like slow movement, kind of like you'll see like Asian grandmas do at Minaru Park in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah.
where you're just kind of just like moving your body real slow and just trying to feel things out.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I do.
Okay, yo. I started using those terms when I stretch because I think about when do you